Good evening, fellow ghouls and specters alike. Your ghost host with the most, Jacob here.
And Bluedragonfive, here to engage in some haunted holiday hijinks by trudging through the catacombs, dusting off the cobwebs, to recount a spooky selection of Halloween classics.
So light the jack-o'-lanterns, suit up, and grab the candy dish as we revive and recount today's spooky selection. American Dragon Jake Long, the Halloween Bash.
Yo.
Yo. Alright, so this is a show we don't usually talk about that much on this channel, Dragon.
Not really.
Yeah. It's kind of a shame because this show's kind of underrated and overlooked a little bit. Heck, it wasn't even on Disney Plus for like the first couple years of it or so.
The fools.
Yes. I pity the fools. Anyway, we have a comment already. Richard's victim says, "Man, the Dante Basco Dragon Show, I remember that."
We all do. Well, apparently not all of us. That's why we're here to talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I got fond nostalgia for Jake Long. It was I'm pretty sure it was my introduction to Dante Basco pre Avatar. So of course, when Avatar: Last Airbender happened, most people were going like, "Oh my God, Rufio's in this." I did not have the Rufio. I've seen that movie. I didn't quite make the Rufio connect. I just kind of had the whole, "Oh yeah, that's the." I knew it's like that recognition of the voice. Before it was like, I know this guy. Where do I know him from? And then lo and behold, it was American Dragon Jake Long.
Explain to me what who Rufio is.
Wait, really?
Okay, no, yes, really. I'm not. But mine's blinking at the moment, Dragon.
Hook. He's the kid with the red and black kind of mohawk and Hook. Weren't you on for that commentary?
No.
Oh, I could have sworn you. Okay, nope. Anyway, but yeah.
And I still haven't seen Hook to this day.
Oh. Oh well, yeah. So that's the one everyone before pre-Avatar, Jacob. The role everyone knew Dante Basco for apparently was Rufio. He was basically kind of like the lead lost boy in Hook.
The thing is, I don't know if I discovered this show or Avatar first, but when I realized that Dante Basco, in addition to Mae Whitman both being in both, it's just like it kind of blew my mind.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they're not. Dante Basco's not the only connecting thread.
Oh, for sure. I got some interesting background I think you might like about that. Not interesting with the capital I, but just like, it's kind of interesting. A little tidbit.
All right, lay it on me.
Well, in a sec, I want to finish my thoughts here, still my overall nostalgia. So I don't know. I think with this show, I think deep down why I really like this, it's kind of in the tradition of a Kim Possible,
I mean, it has a lot of the same staff on it as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's so I've always kind of appreciated that. I mean, at the end of the day, it feels like a weird cross. This is not the best comparison. It feels like a weird cross between Kim Possible and Shaolin Showdown. It just kind of works. I mean, this episode in particular, this episode isn't my favorite. It's not bad at all. I have nothing against this. I'm just saying I like others in the series more. But this is not one I really think about often. But when I watch it, I did remember it, but vaguely. So it was quite the treat revisiting it, and I really do like the cute Haley trick or treating subplot. So that panned out rather well. So, Jacob, do you have any further nostalgia you want to get up before I dip a toe in the background?
Yeah, this is pretty. Okay, let me rephrase it. I do remember having fun, watching this show as it came out. Like, unfortunately, I don't think I ever saw the ending until later. I mean, that was like during the radically looking different second season, of course.
Yeah, the revamp.
Yes, but still the same continuity and everything, just a very different art style and I think a new team of writers.
Oh, gee, I wonder where they got that idea.
No idea. Anyway, and funnily enough, didn't Jake Long actually cross over with American Dragon? But no, it's like Lilo and Stitch. It crossed over with Lilo and Stitch, which also
Yeah.
crossed over with Kim Possible as well.
Well, that's the thing. Not just Kim Possible, Jay. There was like a whole thing
I
where
know, like
all the show.
also Recess too.
There might have been actually also Proud Family.
Yeah, Proud Family too. You're right.
Yeah.
It's like that. So it's like as far as the whole show goes, like I do remember like thinking like this is like have fun. How it was really interesting. Like it's like one of the few shows that Disney did around that particular time that had like an ongoing narrative. Like sure, a lot of the episodes are episodic, but you could tell there was like a lot of continuity between them. So it was always kind of interesting to check that out. And of course, seeing the characters grow, like I like all the characters. Like of course we have one of your favorite actors in there, Paul Rudd.
Yeah, not in this episode, but in the show, yes.
Yeah, but he's like, I know you're like a big Paul Rudd fan, and he is in this show as well.
The big old Freakazoid Connect, kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, but as far as this episode goes, I do remember seeing this episode a long time ago. I actually had it confused with another one, like where for some reason where Councilwoman Chang kind of betrays the Long clan, the Long family, but like, that's in a later episode. But she does get into some tricks in this episode, which could be seen as foreshadowing in hindsight. But either way, like this isn't my favorite episode either, but it does like highlight a lot of good elements that the show has to offer. And speaking of background and crossovers, there's a bit of Fillmore in this episode.
Yeah, yes, there is. I missed the scene, Jay. Did you catch her?
Like yes, like basically, I think like when they're first walking in, like when they're for like some people are first walking, you can see Ingrid Third there.
There we go.
And as you can see in this cut, there's also somebody almost dressed as like almost looks like Fillmore.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's exactly Fillmore, but it kind of looks like him.
Just similar.
Yep.
Right.
But your background.
Yes. So so Jake Long came out in 05. Now here's the fascinating thing. Again, I don't have a lot of background, but I think the most interesting tidbit of background is that Jake Long predates Avatar just by a month. So these shows came out the same year.
Dang.
Like Dante Bosco Mae Whitman shows,
Yeah, but within like just a month of each other.
Yep, just within a month. Like this came out in January, the other one came out in February.
Dang.
Crazy. So yeah, this is Jeff Good's baby. Now Jeff Good mainly was like a playwright. So he has a really weird sporadic kind of career with things. He did a lot of plays, and then he's kind of moved on to doing some animated stuff here and there. But like for example, he worked on Duck Dodgers, but he wasn't one of the main guys behind Duck. He wrote an episode of Duck Dodgers, like probably a singular episode, and then he kind of jumped around to some sporadic odd things.
All right.
But this was like his baby, that was kind of the thing. It was like the main thing that he did. Now again, the main thing I want to highlight is since you mentioned her already, with council member Chang. Yeah, so this is after the Dragon Summit episode, which is one of my favorite episodes, by the way, which is why I was kind of delighted going back to this episode, saying, "Oh yeah, we're tracking to the Dragon Summit episode." I really like that one.
Is the episode directly after that one, or
well, not directly, but just after that.
Yeah, because I remember that episode too, like the whole dragon race at the end of the dark dragon thing.
Yeah. So that's the thing, Jay. If memory serves, and I meant to go back to it, but I didn't quite have the time. But I want to say the twist with Chang might have been revealed as early as that episode, or at least hinted at. So I think the idea is like yes.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. So it's just the fact that we were. I think it was kind of an interesting thing. Like we, the audience, know something the rest of our characters do not. So
I'm just saying, if you watch this episode blind, it's hard to tell.
Well, still, it's kind of interesting. You kind of see like she doesn't like him, and even the council members like, "Wait, man, what acts do you have against this kid, man?" But yeah, knowing that she was really reluctant to help him, and now we know why. She's a turncoat, Chang. Political corruption in a Disney show.
Yeah. Who would imagine?
Exactly. So, again, with the iconic voice cast, to highlight a few other names, like of course Dante Bosco, got Mae Whitman, you have Jeff Bennett.
He's like one of the councilmen.
Also, in general, he probably plays. I imagine he play a number of characters within the series, as he is wont to do with all the other series, including Avatar and most memorably Korra.
And in this episode, that's his most prominent role.
Yes. So Keon Young, if I'm saying his name right, Keon Young, he was he's in this. He plays Lao Shi, and one of the great things about this actor is I don't know. Do you remember Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi?
Yes.
Yeah, he was Kaz in Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen him. I've heard him in a lot of other stuff too.
Of course, he gets around, man. He's been like he was in Men in Black 3. He pops up a lot. He's like a bad penny of good actor.
And a lot of times, like when they need like a Chinese or Asian voice actor, they bring him in to voice them.
Yep, he's got a very distinctive voice.
Like he's good at voicing the like a cranky old man kind of character,
Also, he's got a great
or
kind of gut.
or maybe a wise old man rather. I guess in this technically as far as this is in this episode at least. But as you were saying,
He's got great gusto in his voice, good range. He's got like he's got a lot of like you can bring up the energy, or you can kind of play it kind of somber, and kind of like reel it back a little.
yeah, he does have a good voice for Lao Shi.
Yeah, the other one to mention, Amy Breckner.
Like voices Haley.
Yes, now Amy Breckner. Here's the main thing. I was another thing too where I recognized that voice. I never pinpointed until this very moment until I found out. Oh my God, that is. I'm not crazy. That's who that voice reminded me of. Pim Diffie from Phil the Future.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And of course, the one and only John DiMaggio was Foo Dog.
Yes, the man, the myth, the legend, the Foo Dog.
Oh yes.
All right. Okay, all that said, let's dive into the recap.
I mean, I actually have a bit of background too. I mean, it's related to the writer of this episode, Scott M. Gimple.
All right, go on.
He actually he created Fillmore.
Well, it would explain why we have some cameos.
Yep, and currently he's also like one of the creative leads of the TV series The Walking Dead.
Huh.
Yep.
And yet we couldn't get more Fillmore.
I mean, I don't think that was up to him.
Yeah.
I mean, that might have been Disney's thing. I don't know, because that was like the last Disney show before Disney Channel took over productions and everything. I think, and I don't know if it was their fault or he decided to end the show. I'm not sure, and that's another show that's not on Disney Plus right now either.
Now that's the real crime.
Exactly. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
It's like why isn't this? It's like he calls them. It's like Fillmore's finding out like why isn't this on Disney Plus?
It's a crime we need Fillmore to solve.
Yep. Where is Fillmore?
Yep.
But
Right.
anyway, that's it. That's all my background.
All right, so to break it down a little here, so the Dragon Council, they're preparing to do a surprise inspection. We have, and of course, one of the really cool things about, just in case it's kind of lost on the audience here, if anyone's jumping into this one fresh. The Dragon Council, the idea is that it's kind of a global thing in which there's each kind of section of the world has an assigned dragon to protect it.
Basically an international council of dragons.
Yeah, kind of like a UN of dragon protectors, one could say. And each dragon has kind of like sometimes there's a legacy factor, but predominantly, it's like every dragon kind of a sign. Like Jake had a rivalry with the Australian dragon in the Dragon Summit episode. Chang here is the Chinese dragon,
which was formerly Lao Shi's title. Right.
Well, I believe so,
or at least he was considered for it.
Well, I mean, I forget if the thing was like he I think you're right. I just can't remember if like maybe he had Jake's role before Jake had to pass it down to Jake. That I'm unsure of, but I think you're probably right.
I mean,
Lao Shi has like a place of honor because he stopped the bad guy way back in the past. Is the idea, and she had a pivotal role in that, trying to double cross him, but he ended up winning. So that's essentially what happened there. So probably.
All right.
Anyway, let's just say so. We have she's the representative of China. We have I'm gonna butcher his name, I'm sure, because they don't really say it this episode. Like Ondem. He is the dragon of Africa. And
It'd be kind of weird that Africa would have a whole continent instead of like the countries from Africa.
well, I mean, I don't know. Some of it's a little. I mean, so far, all the we kind of have a lot of continents kind of going on with the dragons so far. I mean, all the ones that spring to mind are usually continents. I'm trying to think of the smaller ones, but they're probably worth them. It's been forever since I've watched the show.
I guess Australia does count as a continent as well, so there's that. But
Right.
maybe I was mistaken. But you think considering like how big some of these continents are, there would be more than one dragon.
Yeah.
Anyway, but speaking of which, like the world building in this show is actually really impressive.
That it is, especially with all the magical creatures.
I mean, I wish there was more time to explore all of it.
Well, there is the whole series. We just don't have time for it in the 22-minute Halloween episode.
I know what I mean is just like the fact that the show only got 2 seasons. It could have easily gone on for at least another season or 2.
Fair point. All right, so anyway, so the third guy, the Jeff Bennett character, Coldy, if I'm saying that right, or Coldy or some. Basically, he's the dragon of Norway.
He doesn't really sound like he's from Norway.
I don't know. He's got an accent.
I know, but yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, so the point being, 2 out of 3 here. We're really impressed with Jake Long, and they're going to do a little surprise inspection, see if the boy's living up to his potential. He's bound to be training as they speak, and yes and no.
It's he's basically just playing a party game with Spud and Trixie.
However, here's the interesting thing. He is technically in training because he is doing, he's doing a little training exercise with like the fire, the Ring of Fire, which he hasn't been able to do before. But with the advent of fun, he actually achieved it, with his friends Spud and Trixie.
Yeah, that is a major aspect of this episode, like the balance between having fun and taking things seriously.
Exactly. So it's kind of almost the Brooklyn Nine-Nine thing, where it's like skills to pay the bills to an extent. Where it's like the cast of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, those characters are wacky and they're funny, but they actually are really good cops. So in a similar vein, it's like, okay, so Jake can do his shtick so long as he gets the job done. He actually is doing some good out there. So it's unconventional, but it works.
So it's not always like the method of how he learned how to do it. It's just the fact that he learned it. That's the important thing.
Precisely. So he's kind of rapping in his dragon form as he is wont to do, and we have like the Ring of Fire trick, which terrifies
Spud.
Terrifies Spud, but it worked.
It's like, yeah, and apparently Food Dog lost a bet.
Cookie bet
to Trixie.
Lost the cookie bet.
We don't get to see the cookies, unfortunately.
No, we don't. What are Chinese cookies? Because the bag was kind of unique.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I've never had Chinese cookies.
Yeah, you didn't say chocolate chip though, so I don't know.
I mean, there may be a Chinese bakery that makes them.
Could just be a New York bakery too. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's mostly. I mean, that's probably the more logical explanation.
All right, so Lao Shi enters, the man, the myth, the legend. Lao Shi enters with the expositing the moral, like, you need to take your training more seriously. You got to find balance, like, essentially the moral, like, try to find balance between the two, which is gonna pay off by the end.
Yeah, and then he's like, how's this for balance, Graham? And stands on one finger.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Gramps and Haley, they're going trick or treating.
Yep. And Haley thinks she's gonna in her princess costume is gonna be like, look at all this candy I'm gonna get, and people are gonna love my costume. I'm gonna hand out glossies.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really go out the way she hoped.
No, it doesn't. All right, let's see. So, he tasks Jake with locking up the shop and everything. Thinks it's gonna be an uneventful evening for him, but oh boy! So he trips into the street in his dragon form, and initially we're thinking there's a panic, like there's a cop. It's like, oh boy, this is pretty bad. Then one intro later, false alarm. He's getting all sorts of praise for his very authentic dragon costume, and
the costume is very authentic dragon.
Well, yes. And we have this cop saying, like, if I could arrest people for having green costumes, you'd be arrested 24/7. Have a happy Halloween. Nice guy. That's a good Halloween cop right there.
And then Jake comes up with the genius idea to actually have a Halloween party and basically have the magical creatures of New York and basically the humans commingle.
Mm-hmm.
Which is actually a pretty nice gesture.
Yeah. Also, we have like this gag with like these hobbit-looking guys, making fun of the possibly inauthentic parts of the costume, saying like, "Hey, look at the it looks like tiddlywinks, for these dragon scales. I mean, what are you trying to pull?" And he pulls out the wings, and this gag reminded me a lot of a gag from Monsters vs. Aliens. I know it's like an old like kind of like gag you can have where like they're insulting the real monster, the real like looking kind of like costume,
Yeah.
in which we in Monsters vs. Aliens, like the missing link was looking for terrifying kids, and he had the meta gag where he saw like the missing link, Bob and the Dr. Cockroach costumes on these kids. It's like, I'm the missing link. You look like a fat old mermaid. And he's punched him in the gut, sort of thing. Like he just took some pot shots at him, literally.
That was missing link, right?
Yeah, that was the missing link. Yeah,
Yeah, that was Will Arnett, right?
yeah,
Oh, nice. I haven't seen the movie in ages.
yeah.
And Hugh Laurie was Dr. Cockroach.
You are correct, sir.
That movie had a lot of great.
Care to go for 3?
Yeah, Seth Rogen played Bob. Reese Witherspoon played Gigantica.
And who was Insectosaurus?
I don't know who Insectosaurus was.
Well, you know him though.
Was it D. Baker?
No,
And who was it?
Conrad Vernon.
Conrad Vernon. All right.
Yeah. Admittedly, for all I know, they probably got the Red Bear to do like monster sounds, but who knows?
And Rainn Wilson was the main alien.
Yeah.
See, I know some of the stuff in there.
Okay.
Moving on.
Let's see. So he has, wings. He's using a little fire trick he just learned. Meanwhile, Jake and his pals, they're gonna throw a Halloween party.
Woohoo!
Food Dog is advising against this because he have a flashback the last time Food Dog threw a little party while the old man was away, and it led to a flood with mermaids.
It's like, hope you enjoyed your trip.
No, I love how he goes. So, how was your trip?
It's like when and things are going bad when Food Dog's the one talking sense.
Oh yeah.
It's a bad idea when
He had to go to obedience school. Like now I'll never heal. Ah.
And then basically Jake convinces him like they'll be talking poodles.
Yep, it's gonna be everything there. It's gonna be like the humans, trolls, pixies, brownies, and poodles.
Talking poodles, magical talking poodles.
Yes, it's gonna be magical talking poodles, and there was a Spud. Spud, you draw up the flyers. Trixie, fix that sound system. I'm gonna call in some desserts. Does anyone have an allergy to butterscotch? And also, the plural of poodle is pudai.
That doesn't make any sense.
You gotta admit though, it sounds cool.
It does sound cool.
Okay, so Food Dog, he's in a very Food Dog is in a very stylish tuxedo. Now there is significance to said tuxedo.
Yeah, go on.
So honestly, in the image that you can see before us here, Food Dog and Trixie, they're in Nods the Rapper costumes or rapper outfits. Because there's a lot of hip hop and kind of rap, kind of like tributes throughout American Dragon Jake Long, with kind of like the whole hip hop angle that we have going on with Jake. So that thing is, I don't know, I have no idea which rapper in particular, but essentially there was a rapper who wore like kind of the sequence looking tuxedo that Food Dog is wearing. There's one who has like an inflatable outfit, just like Trixie is wearing.
I mean, well, the influence of hip hop does kind of make sense of it, considering it does take place in New York.
Yeah, I mean that's as well, yes, but yeah, so that's a little Easter eggs to kind of some stuff from the show.
You see, I didn't actually know that.
Yeah. So, anyways, Food Dog is a real star, so he looks great. Looks like $1 million.
Smartly dressed dog.
Exactly. So, there's like a sea of teens and magical creatures who's ready to party.
Yeah, and then apparently Ingrid Third stopped by.
Yeah.
It's like, I swear she's in there, Dragon. I was like, oh, look, it's Ingrid.
All right, so the council arrive. They fly in. They haven't made it to the party quite yet, but they arrive and they're expecting some promise there. Chang expects disappointment. Meanwhile, the Huntsman and Hunt's girl. Bum bum bum.
Boom.
It's Mae Whitman. Hunt's girl. Yeah.
basically the classic poor timing.
I can't remember. It was a reveal that Rose is the Hunt's girl. It was one of those things where I think anyone really smart can like, okay, well, obviously the Hunt's girl is going to be Rose, because they have like kind of a little hint of blonde, same eyes, same voice. It's got to be her.
I think the show itself like revealed it to us like earlier on in the series, but
Well, they did. I don't remember how early though. That's the thing.
But Jake didn't find out until like I think the season finale, like in a couple, maybe around that time.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, I don't remember if it was like by episode 1 if we revealed her, or if we just kind of waited a little bit before we, the audience, found out before Jake. But yeah, so at this point, I assume that we know.
And I believe so too. I mean, this episode is pretty late in the season. I think it's like 17, episode 17.
It's like 17 or 18 or something. So yeah.
And this was after Spud and Trixie found out.
Yeah.
Because another thing about continuity, they didn't know Jake was a dragon either.
Yeah, for a while, yeah.
So yeah.
So, point being, Huntsman, he's hunting his big prey here, which are kind of our Dragon Council.
Another Jeff Bennett character.
It's a really good Jeff Bennett character too, because 1, he looks really cool. 2, he's got he's got kind of like a regal thing about him. This guy's all about like the honor of the hunt. Like Craven would love to grab a beer with this guy.
Speaking of which, Dragon, I just beat Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like everything, or is the main story?
The main story and majority of the side quests.
Okay. Anyway.
But I agree. Like Craven, if he wasn't trying to kill the Huntsman, he would definitely like grab some. Maybe not beer with the Huntsman, but maybe vodka.
Yeah, there you go.
Craven would definitely be drinking vodka.
I'll tell you one thing. That Craven, I haven't played that game yet, folks, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to bet that Craven, he did not get his powers from like just like random lion blood.
Like do you want me to say something? Because if I remember correctly, I don't think the game explicitly reveals where he got his strength.
Well, I don't imagine they're going to go into the origins of Craven. I'm just saying I'm just taking a pot shot at the live action movie.
Oh, all right.
Just saying, have you seen the trailer for that live action Craven movie?
Dragon, I have no desire to.
That's what I'm saying. It's really dumb. It's like that's how they show like that was his equivalent to the spider bite. A lion bled into him and he got powers.
I mean, is there more to it than that?
Nope. Well, according to the trailer, no. Probably in the movie there's going to be some sci-fi BS explanation, but let's be honest, it's not going to be great.
Well, like I said, they didn't do that in the game, and I don't think. I mean, they do have a lot of background on it, but I don't think they did anything like that in the game.
Right. The only thing I know, I still crack up at that game and that trailer for the game, at least like one of the many, the Craven reveal trailer. It's like you have this guy who looks like a pretty decent Craven, and then the real Craven like strangles and kills him. It's like, oh wow, now that's a Craven. Take that, movie.
Oh yeah, you'll love Craven in the game, Dragon.
I'm sure we will. So, anyway, the point being, Huntsman's on the scene. Meanwhile, Gramps and Haley, they're trick or treating. He basically she gives him the lowdown on what Halloween's all about. It's about the kid, not pennies for cherry, not the UNICEF crowd,
and definitely not apples.
Definitely not apples, and not glow sticks. Glow sticks are kind of cool, but not apples.
I like apples though. Apples are nice.
We have this great kind of like coffees for closers-esque delivery from Haley here. It's like, apples are for losers, Grandpa.
But apples are good though. I love apples.
Oh, well, sure.
I had one earlier today, actually.
Random tangent.
Yes.
Johnny Appleseed was in Once Upon a Studio.
Ooh.
I saw him.
Nice.
So.
But of course, Haley's like all like even basically when they go up to the first house, Haley's like all like, oh, thank you for liking my costume. Here's a picture of it.
Yes, Jay, earlier you kind of jumped the gun a little with the 8x10 gloss. When she's giving him the lowdown, then she pulls out the 8x10 gloss. Just the ego on this kid, thinking she's like a cosplay celebrity or something. Just Halloween. She's a little girl in princess. It's a cute little girl in princess costume. She's not going to reinvent the wheel.
I mean, considering how Haley can be in a lot of the other episodes, it kind of is nice to see her get knocked down a peg a little bit. Absolutely,
especially that Lao She gets to do
it. Yep, and Lao She's not even intending to do it. It's just like, I mean, everyone just thinks like Lao She's just like a small boy in a very, very convincing wise Chinese man costume.
I laughed so hard at that. And I love that it was like the whole central thing of his story in the episode. And then the apple for the princess.
And Oh, and I love how he just goes along with it too. Like he
I
doesn't.
love that the apple is the rock equivalent for Haley.
I got an apple. Except she got like 5 apples.
How do you like them apples, Haley?
I mean, at least you can eat the apples. You can't eat a rock. Well, technically you can. It's just really not recommended.
Oh, there's also rock candy, but yeah.
But that's not the rock that Charlie Brown got.
Well, it could have been worse, Jacob.
That could have been worse.
They could have thrown the rock at him. It's like, oh, son, you get something extra special. Just wait right here. There's like a bowl next to the other bowl. It says a little sign that says rocks to throw at children in bad costumes.
Like,
grabs it and like,
well, for,
ah!
like if it's a Charlie Brown, it's probably specifically to say rocks to throw at Charlie Brown.
Exactly. He's stumbling. He's walking the rest of the kids. It's like, I got bubble gum. I got a candy bar. I got a concussion.
It's just the Gritty reboot.
I don't know. I think that one. Honestly, I think it's pretty much in there. It's just like a one-line difference, but yeah, that's pretty much happened.
Well, we just dropped it in the bag though.
Well, I mean, they tossed it in the bag though.
Yeah, but he did like aim for his head.
Emphasis on toss though.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
They're throwing rocks at this boy, Jacob, not candy. They're throwing rocks at him.
And throwing apples that actually hurt pretty much too.
Of course, Charlie Brown goes to Killer Croc's house. He's gonna die.
Oh boy.
He's all about throwing rocks at people.
A very big rocks.
Yeah, very big. It was a big rock.
Yep. Even though technically that was Batman.
Well, still, Croc did throw a rock in the quarry. He did get him once in the quarry. It's not completely unfounded, but it's not his whole shtick, though.
I know.
Anyway.
But that's just the excuse that Batman came up with.
Yep, Batman thinking, well, he did throw a rock at me, and no one's gonna really. If I play Croc too smart, they're gonna know something's up. So I'm just gonna dumb them down.
It was a very big rock.
It was a big rock.
Almost got him.
Okay.
But yeah, being hit with an apple would hurt too.
Yeah, but if you get hit hard enough with it, it'll break. It's like that scene. Do you remember Fred? Well, oh god, I'm gonna jump to Christmas right now. You remember that scene in Fred Claus, Jacob, where we throw the apple at poor young Santa Claus and poor Nick, and it just completely breaks on impact. That had to hurt.
Yeah, it probably did.
It was like a big green apple.
I don't like green apples.
Well, no one's asking you to eat green apples, Jacob. It's just gonna be like asking you to throw green apples.
I know. I'm just saying, dude. I prefer like Gala or like Honey Crisp apples.
Well, there you go. That's the thing. You can eat all the Honey Crisp and the green ones you don't like. Just chuck them at people. Just throw them at people you don't like.
I think I'd get in trouble for that, Dragon.
Well, not if you run fast enough.
It's like, hey, that guy threw an apple at me. Oh, wait, where'd he go? He ran too fast.
Exactly. That's all you need to do.
The stealth apple thrower.
Exactly.
It's like, wait, this is a tomato? Like, wait, you got an apple, I got a tomato.
Just imagine this, like someone's going to a play they know is going to be terrible. Says, did you bring the tomatoes? I sure did, but these aren't tomatoes, you idiot. They're apples. What are we supposed to do with these? Well, I guess we just still throw them. All right, it's like throwing like beaming the poor actors. Like, oh god, my eye! Oh, there's seeds. Ah!
Wait, the seeds are on the inside, Dragon.
Well, I'm saying it's gonna break on impact. It's gonna like, oh my god! Oh, it hurts.
Oh god! I didn't think they'd break that.
This wounds me to my core. Oh no, it's just the apple core. Who's throwing us the apple core? We got hungry.
Like they don't serve food in this place. I mean, yeah, they really don't serve food at the movie theaters. I mean, not movie theaters. I mean, at like Broadway theaters.
Jacob.
Yeah.
We have coming.
Yeah, we have Warp Monarch here. Food Dog is one of my favorite characters, way better than Jake.
Well, Food Dog is quite wonderful.
Well, I mean, the fact that he's voiced by John DiMaggio helps.
Yeah. You got to admit, though, with Jake Long, is the rapping a little too much sometimes with him? Do you think?
I think that's why they toned it down in the second season.
I think that was a smart move because at a certain point, it's like, okay, it's a thing that he likes and it's part of who he is, but still feels a little like, okay, Jake, we're trying to have a serious moment here, man. Dial it back a little.
And they said they dialed down the slang in general. Like, I mean, there's a lot of it in the first season.
Yeah.
But they toned it down as the second season. I mean, they changed a lot in the second season.
I'd say keep the yo, lose some of the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's not nearly as bad as some other shows Paul did, but I mean, it was definitely noticeable.
Word to your mother. Okay, so.
You heard?
Word.
I just realized you and between the two of us, we set up both the Jake and the Dragon part of the title.
Yeah.
And technically, we're both American, so that counts too.
Yeah.
Neither of us, but we just don't have long. I guess, I don't know. The 2000s were DiMaggio's prominent sources like Dr. Draken, Marcus Phoenix, Aquaman, and Wrath.
There you go.
I don't know who Wrath is.
Well, Wrath's from Ben 10, like Alien Force? Yeah, Alien Force. It was Alien Force or Ultimate Alien. I think it might have been Ultimate Alien. It was one of the Ben 10 spin-offs.
Well, those are sequel series, not spin-offs.
Fine, sorry. The Ben 10 sequel series. I meant, yes.
I know what you mean.
The spin-offs aren't great, but the sequel series actually is really good, and the way McDuffie worked on it was great. Okay, so
I haven't actually gotten to Alien Force yet.
Alien Force is good.
I know. I mean, I've seen like bits and pieces of it. I just haven't I've only seen a couple episodes.
I like the simplicity of the original, but no, the latter show holds up, and the writing's a little better. So it's good.
The original series definitely has its charm.
Yeah. I mean, I love them taking on Vilgax in the finale of that original series. That's great. Well, more so the first season, but anyway.
And of course, the reveal of Max being a plumber, what kind of plumber he is.
Yeah. Okay, so refocus a bit here.
Yes.
Okay, so point being, she's getting apples, not great. Back to the party. Brad, I think
it's amazing that we went on a whole tangent about apples.
Well, apple a day keeps the podcast longer.
I guess so.
So I believe Brad is the kid's name. So Brad's like hitting on
again another jerk named Brad.
Yeah, assuming his name is Brad. I mean, it was Brad, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
So Brad here, in the long list of prickish Brads. So Brady here, he hits on the Centaur girl. He's hitting on the fantasy, the magical girls at the party.
Yeah, he has a thing for the fantasy ladies.
We have some this is real. I thought this was so darn clever and cute, man. The mermaids are bobbing for apples, but they're like jumping up in the air to bite the apples that are hung from like the ceiling. That was great.
And the question is, how did they get there in the first place?
Well, how'd the mermaids get there?
Yeah.
Well, no, they invite them, and they probably have like a tank ready for them. But you're right. How'd they get from point A to point B?
I mean, maybe they can survive for a little bit without water.
I mean, sometimes mermaids, depending on the legend or the lore, they can walk on land, but they prefer they live in the water. So basically, they could probably just walk and have legs temporarily.
I mean, and each culture or variation has their own rules on for these magical creatures. So it doesn't really. It's not really important anyway.
Okay. Anyway,
and notice that this little genie to this side. I remember was one of the bad guys in an episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bobbing for apples. Brad gets kicked in there and hits on them too. I was I'm gonna need air soon.
Well, that comes later, Jacob. But yes, that does happen.
He's I know, but he's I'm gonna need air soon.
It's a great meta gag.
Yeah, talking underwater is generally not a good idea.
No, don't do it, kids. Unless you want to die, then go ahead.
Or unless you have gills.
True.
Or if your name is Gil.
Yeah.
And you swim at Camp Wannaweep.
Yep.
And then it's perfect. Then you can talk underwater all you want.
Yep. Okay. So, we have the party going on there, and we have these trolls. I think they're trolls. Trolls are whacking the TVs, confusing it for a pinata, that they're eating the insides of the TVs. They destroyed.
And then Food Dog's talking about the property damage.
Spud's in a potato costume, which is funny, and Trixie's in the inflatable rapper outfit.
Yep.
So anyway, let's see. So the
council.
Yes, so the council's arriving, and Jake is making a point here that look, just a few TVs. Look at what we're getting here. We're intermingling creatures and humans. And he's like, oh, here's that. Foo Dog is right there. You just want to show off in front of the girlies here, as he's like, "Oh, that's ridiculous." And he opens a bottle like with his muscle. Just
It's a
there you go.
classic immediate self-contradiction.
But I mean, Jake does have a point though. He is actually helping the two worlds kind of coalesce their kind of Halloween Town style.
And he's like what we see here then it's like basically he's like pointing out like it's one of the few times they're able to be out in the open without people fleeing in fear, basically.
Yeah.
Which is actually pretty good, which is pretty thoughtful of him. Like, I mean, it's one of the I remember it is one of the important things for the American dragon to do.
By the way, well, two things. One, Reggie the Brownie, who was in that Dragon Summit episode, we brought him back.
Are you an animatronic?
Anything you want me to be, love.
I was like, yep. I mean, to be fair though, seeing something like that probably would raise a few eyebrows as to like maybe these things aren't costumes.
Let's see. So the other thing too is, I mean, it's kind of like the whole Bridge to the Spirit World thing for the Avatar. So yet another comparison between the shows.
Yeah.
Because we got dragons in that show too. We got Dante Bosco's in that show. We have Mae Whitman's.
Mae Whitman's actually not in a lot of this particular episode.
Well, no, not this episode, but in general, this show. But yes,
I mean, she only has like a couple scenes here and there. She doesn't even do much. Like, I mean, just because supposedly the plot for this one is like the Huntsmen, the Hunts clan is following the council and is planning to slay one of them for her initiation.
Mm-hmm.
Become a full-fledged member.
Yeah. All right. So, okay, anyway, so after the bottle gag, we crank up the sound system, which creates a whole lot of damage.
Thanks a lot, Trixie.
Wrecks a whole bunch of stuff, and then Jake says, "Okay, look, after this, we're not going to break anything." He knocks over the cash registers, and everyone's taking the free money.
And hopefully, she didn't notice that.
Hopefully,
unless everybody returned it afterwards.
Well, I mean, maybe it sounds like they probably did, but even if they did, I don't think Laushy's really profit driven.
I know. It's like, well, remember, isn't one of the slogans like "Never had a customer, never had a sale."
Yep.
Like so I think the money's just in there for like just in case they have a sale.
Yeah. So Haley now goes for the Dragon Princess idea. She transforms her head into the dragon, and she tries going there for some candy points. No dice.
Gets an apple again.
Grandpa gets all the love.
Everybody goes for the wise old Chinese man costume.
Meanwhile, okay, so the council they arrive to a topping truck.
Butterscotch. All the butterscotch.
All the butterscotch
you can possibly imagine.
Yep. Okay, so let's see. So property damage aside, again we have the mermaids and the math nerds. We have the ogres oogling cheerleaders dressed like Middleton High cheerleaders from Kim Possible.
Ooh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, they're dressed exactly like them. I don't know if the idea is they're it's a cross-pollination thing or not, but that is indeed that.
Season 1 to 3 or 4?
Well, I mean, probably 3 or 4.
Because this came out before season 4, right?
Yeah.
I had my timelines mixed up a bit.
Well, it's going to be after seasons 1 and 2, so it's probably going to be 3, be my guess.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, they had the same uniforms for 1 to 3, and then they got a new one for 4.
Well, that's because they changed seasons with the sport. They did football. In football, you need longer sleeves.
Yep. And then Ron became one of the football players too, instead of the mascot.
Yeah.
So he got a uniform change too.
Yeah.
I could talk about Kim Possible all day.
Believe me, we really could.
But you guys already did the Halloween episode for that, right?
Yes, we did.
And the Christmas one too, I'm guessing.
God bless Snowman Hank.
Snowman Hank. Even warms Draken's heart.
Yep. I'm changing it. Didn't you hear that? Oh, no! Not. Anyway, we're reminiscing. Anyway, so let's see. So property damage aside, people are mingling the goths. So the goths are with the goblins. Everything seems to be going well here. Haley doing a literal song and dance. Bub kiss, still nothing.
Except an apple.
Got a few costumes to highlight along the way here. We have some Frankensteins, we have some wizards, we got some Star Trek. We get a lot going on.
Yep. Surprisingly, funnily enough, no zombies.
Nope.
Which is kind of funny considering who wrote this episode, as I mentioned earlier.
Well, one could say he's thinking, you know what's missing? Zombies. Screw this, I'm leaving. Do another show.
I don't. He didn't join Walking Dead until like 10 years later, I think.
Yeah.
Until he's like 10 years after this episode.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a lingering thought of like, I did that Halloween episode. And there were no zombies. I just feel so guilt-ridden about it. Kirkman, Kirky, can I come over? Anyway.
Yeah, let's just get Darabont out of here first.
Yeah.
I'm well familiar with how they treated Frank Darabont in that show. Anyway.
Right, so let's see. So anyway, so then we have Draggy J.
Draggy D.
That's what I'm saying. Draggy J is when we go a little far with the rabbit stuff a little bit. You know, it's like, okay.
I know. We don't have a problem with that itself. It's just like in the show, it just goes on for a bit long. But it does come back in this episode in a nice way.
It does. I mean, look, I like the fact that I like practically what it does. You're like, okay, Jake's, you know, he's being the MC, master ceremonies at the party there. Everyone's having a good time, which is gonna like reward him later. So that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. It's just these dudes almost like in the first season that happened a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everybody seemed into it though.
I mean, yeah, no, for sure, yeah. So anyways, the point being, everyone's digging it. The council shows up, and they will. Now, here's the thing: the council really won't let Jake explain himself. What's not helping is everyone being covered in butterscotch, though. To be fair.
Yeah, like to be fair, if I was suddenly covered in butterscotch, I probably wouldn't be in a listening mood either.
But again, I want to be clear: Jake's not really in the wrong here because the one there is popping by unannounced. More so, I know it's kind of the point of like, we want to make sure our guys are battle ready, but guys, it's a holiday. All right, it's a holiday. It's I don't know. I think there are mitigating circumstances here. They should have really considered.
Yeah, but that's the thing about surprise inspections. They're surprised.
Yeah, but still holidays though. You know, you get off on inspections on holidays.
Well, I think the point of that is like the dragons don't take holidays in that regard.
Yeah.
So and to be fair, they do have a point though that to concede to you, they should have let Jake explain himself.
Yeah. Okay, so
but then again, we do know how much Chang has it out for him at this point, so that was also definitely an influence.
So Jake essentially he does get something close to an explanation here where he says, like, we're just cutting loose for a day. He doesn't really get the whole like, guys, it's Halloween. It's like a night where we can have magical creatures and everyone interacting for a night. He isn't quite able to make his case in the best way because Chang just shuts him down instantly. And then the three, big moment. I gotta be honest, this really I thought was really effective. Like Andom, the guy who was like probably the biggest guy in Jake's corner. He was really hurt because he was talking the praises of this boy, and he's like, we've seen enough. Essentially, he's like, no, there's like he just cuts him off when he's trying to explain, like, no, we're sorry. It's like, oh man, that really hurts.
And then they strip Jake of his power.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I completely forgot about this. I had no idea he had the ability to do that. Now I'm calling BS a little bit on that because we've seen the whole family. It's like in their like Haley right now. She's been transformed into a dragon the whole episode. It's like it's passed down. Like all the members from his mother's side of the family can transform into dragons. That's not something they should have an ethical right to take away. Honestly,
I don't know. I don't know if that was ever actually explored in the show itself. Like
I'm just saying, we've seen all the family members like have their dragon abilities. So it's not. I admit, again, I'm rusty on my American Dragon lore here. I have to go back to it to see like the whole like the rules or if he takes an oath or anything, which I don't think he does.
I think there's a lot of like controversy surrounding in universe, considering the fact that she married a human. That Jake's mom married a human.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if like that's a issue or whatever.
It might be. Maybe that's why. It's entirely possible.
So like I said, I'm not sure. I mean, like I said, I haven't seen the show basically since it relaunched on Disney Plus.
Right.
And I can't remember all the minutia of the details, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from on that. But it's just kind of weird that they can just like go to any dragon and take their power away. It's kind of a scary power if you think about it.
I'm not saying that they're not the Guardians from like Green Lantern. I don't think they can like unchoose a person. That's the thing.
Why didn't? And I wonder why they didn't try that against the Dark Dragon.
Exactly.
I mean, could they have done that against? Or maybe the.
Well, I know this. That's what I'm saying. They're throwing like something really big at us. You're like, wait a minute, they could do that. Like, couldn't the whole thing just go after the Dark Dragons, take it away? I mean, I know the third person there is playing both sides. I don't know if it's like, you know what we should do? We should find the Dark. No, let's not do that. Let's give this Jake Long kid a hard time. Like, okay.
Well, maybe they could. Maybe they tried and you just the Dark Dragon's too powerful.
That's possible.
Which there is lore reasons to back that up.
All right. Also, might be like a willingness sort of thing, but still, even Jake wasn't willing. Hey, you just kind of took it, guys, without asking.
Like I said, might have to rewatch it to make sure I'm all see for how accurate we are on the lore.
Okay, point being, low of lows moment. Jake is his power stripped.
Which everyone thinks is part of like the Halloween show.
Jake regrets throwing the party, and Foo Dog blames himself for not stopping the party. And also, I love this where the real concern is less for himself, more for like his, he's been suspended from the Dragon Order, including his Gramps. It's dishonor.
Oh yeah,
dishonor on your whole family.
Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow.
Yep, on your whole family.
Like Mushu has that authority.
He does.
Another great dragon.
Yep.
Actually, another red and yellow dragon. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so Jake accepts responsibility for his failure here, and he's kind of wallowing in it outside. We have a nice bit of Andom here. He's drawing. I always love this bit here where he brings up that I'm a little concerned you didn't see any good in that boy. And right as he's bringing that up, like, wait a minute, Chang, something doesn't smell right with you. Then the Huntsman captures him.
Yeah, you were that close.
Yep.
And yet so far.
Oh yeah.
But unfortunately, fate had other plans, and the Huntsman captures them. And I believe in like something. What was it? Yeah, I don't know if it was like unicorn hair or some kind of hair that like negates the dragon's abilities to shapeshift.
Yeah, I tried to get the proper like term for this thing, but it was like, well, the subtitles are actually wrong on the episode for this part. It doesn't say.
Like, I remember them specifically mentioning it, and probably.
I thought it was like a shear or something. So it's a shear, but I don't know a shear of what.
Like no idea, but I know they mentioned it. And I know they talk about it in other episodes though.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, it negates the dragon's ability to shapeshift, basically keeping them in their defenseless human forms.
Well, in this case, I mean, they're in their dragon forms. They can't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But still renders them basically powerless.
Yes. It's like the butterfly nets in Fairly Odd Parents.
As long if it has holes in, how does it? What are the rules on that again?
I don't know. I thought it was like if it's a net and it has wings, I don't know.
A butterfly net can catch it.
Yes, essentially, yes. If it has wings and flies, a butterfly net can catch it.
And then for some reason it completely negates the godparent's powers.
Yep.
I mean, it's like I'm just remembering the Abracatastrophe episode, which that was like played to less comedic effect than it has ever been in the rest of the show.
Oh yeah.
But going on.
So we exposit the big thing that tonight they're going to be part of a very special ceremony. It's going to be the Hunts girls and her initiation kill. Essentially, she's going to slay a dragon, officially go from squire to huntsman or hunts person. You know what I mean?
Yep, Hunts girl.
Yeah, Hunts girl. She's going to go from hunts. I don't know. She's being called Hunts girl now, so I guess that's the squire. So she'll be Hunts woman. She'll be Hunts person.
Hunts woman, most likely.
Anyway.
Or just you just go up in a higher rank and still be called Hunts girl.
Oh, there you go. She'll be official Hunts girl.
Yes, but And what they tell you there when they go to take, well, first off, Jake actually convinces some harpies to take him to follow the vehicle.
It's funny every time I think of harpies, and I was like initially trying to figure out what are they, and I realized they're harpies because I'm thinking of Yu-Gi-Oh with all the harpy girls.
I never actually watched Yu-Gi-Oh or got into.
Sometimes duelists have like a specific signature monster. And my Valentine, one of the female duelists, her thing was like harpy. So like the harpy girl and harpy lady and harpy this. So they were all. You got to look at what the harpy design was. So there you
I
go.
mean that makes sense.
Anyway, so yeah, so these kind of these fun kind of Valley Girl esque kind of harpy girls. It's like, hey, it's Draggy Jade without the drag. Oh, what?
What a
Anyways,
drag!
yeah. So
Greg,
they said like
Greg,
he's
Greg,
cute. Let's help him out.
Greg Griffin doing her usual Valley Girl accent.
Lover,
I know you.
just lover.
I know you do.
So anyway, the harpies lend an assist to Jake to follow the Hunt's vehicle. The Hunt's vehicle.
It's a very cool looking vehicle.
It really is. It really is.
I mean,
So,
I know you're a gadget nut, but are you a vehicle nut too?
well, I mean, it kind of falls into the same umbrella. I do enjoy a good vehicle, so yes.
I mean, I
Mind you, I'm
didn't.
a body guy. I'm not really about engines and stuff, but I do love me
I,
love me a good the body design on a car.
like, so you're only in it for the body, not what's inside.
How dare you, sir? I love the gadgets within the vehicles. I'm not an engine man, is all I'm saying.
I know. I was just working with the double entendre.
Dare you? They
But
call
yeah,
the part on top of the car the body, Jacob. Get your mind out of that gutter.
yeah, you're the one who said it, not me.
You're a sick puppy.
Hey, don't try to pin this on me.
You're a sick foo dog looking for all the poo dye.
that plural still doesn't make any sense.
That was better than platypus.
You know what I mean.
Exactly. Okay, anyway, so meanwhile, we have this great gag of now Haley's dressed as Lao Shi.
And
So darn cute.
And she gets candy.
Oh, yeah.
We're forgetting to mention that like Lao Shi's not just getting a little bit of candy. Basically, each house he goes to just like basically pours all the candy they have into his basket.
And gave her the lone apple. But now that they're dressed similarly, the candy's evening out.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And that's not the only thing. Like everyone else is realizing this trick too and dressing up as grandpa.
It's going to lead to a good plot point later.
Oh yes, it does.
So anyway, using cotton balls, marbles, and a hollowed out cantaloupe, you can become Lao Shi.
Lao Shi. And one random guy kid dressed as Lao Shi even gives Jake some good advice.
Yeah.
And even he's like, "Well, where did that come from?"
Catching, it's a cultural movement, my friend.
It is indeed.
We'll all be better and wiser and shorter for it.
Yes. Definitely older.
Yeah.
I mean, the older. I mean, as far. I mean, I don't know about you, Dragon, but for me, it'd definitely just be older.
And so she's getting lots of candy. Says like, "Yes, all my. I mean, so much candies." You know, he's like, "Yeah, you're getting all my candy, little girl." She's like, "No, you're getting candy."
It's kind of funny how how Lao Shi and Haley kind of got a little bit of a rivalry going.
Yeah, it's a food dog. Food dog rallies the party goers to clean up the place.
Which is nice. Food dog, basically standing up for Jake and all that. Like,
Brad's like nerds to this, and then we have these awesome this bit with the trolls, which is really cool. Ungracious guests make me angry, and they toss him in the mermaid tank, and then we have the whole like, I'm definitely gonna need air soon.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that trolls were they ogres? I don't know, but
I think that well, you're right. They might be ogres. I don't know. I thought trolls maybe.
I mean, I think that they are different. They might both been in the show, but I don't remember which one it was specifically. But yeah, it's just kind of nice to see them just like be the gracious party guests.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you like see the pixies helping like repair the TVs, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally and then Jake comes back and pleads for everyone's help, and they literally get the party moving, if you get what I mean.
For sure.
It's like, so back at the graveyard where the Hunts clan is, like the council members are tapped to a tree, and like she has to like slay like one, and Hunt's girl's like tasked to slay one of them to be initiated. And Of all ones, she chooses Chang.
Yes, I love that there's a version of this episode where, actually it's kind of win-win if Jake does not get there in time, in a sense, because Rose gets what she wants, and he's actually saving himself a lot of trouble in the long run.
Not that anybody would have known that at the time, and of course the council probably was like, "You didn't get here fast enough to save us, to save her."
Well, I mean, is anyone really going to miss her, though?
Probably. I mean, she probably would because he didn't know she was evil at that point, and I think he didn't have a thing for her too.
Well, that I'm not sure about. Because at last she did have a wife.
And no, but that he also had a little bit of a fling or something in the past with
maybe I have no idea.
I know they worked together in the past, and maybe there was a bit of like flirtation, but I don't know if anything else beyond that.
Anyway. Point being, we have this kind of nice regal thing of you two get the honor of watching how we conduct our ceremonies.
It's like two of you will bear witness to this great ceremony, but one of you will partake in it.
Yeah, it's really I love how the Huntsman kind of speechifies.
He has a very grandiose way of speaking and making you can see why the Huntsmen follow him.
Yeah,
I mean, sure they're murdered, they're basically a bunch of one borderline cult group of magical creature hunters, but you can kind of see why they follow him in a way. He has this grandiose way of oh yeah, that actually sounds kind of awesome.
So then they warn the order will come for you. I hope so. It's so hard to flush dragons out of Hijinks. Oh man, this guy's thought of everything.
He's a cocky SOB, but he definitely has his contingency plans. Oh, I hope they come after me. And it's like dang, he's good.
Yeah,
but then that bravado doesn't last very long.
Nope.
Because the party drops on the cemetery.
Yeah, so Jake saw this. He ran to get.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah, so Jake's bore witness to this. He ran to get some advice from Gramps, but he could not find Gramps. He found an infinite army of copycat costumes of Gramps, but he got a little nugget of wisdom there, a little advice about little party advice, party. That's it. So he goes there when everything's being fixed up, and says, "Let's take this party to the grave."
Yeah, like a graveyard. It's a raveyard.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So Hunt's girl, she's about to slay Chang, which again, in retrospect, win-win.
Right.
Very convenient. You got it, very conveniently, because we can't have Rose realize that Jake's there, so she gets knocked out very.
Yeah, she's like, Jake, what's he doing here?
Yeah. She gets knocked out. Really, just the sound system knocks her out.
They bring literally the entire party there with the DJ table, all the lights and everything. It's kind of.
If there weren't magical creatures, you'd be calling how the heck are they going to get all that there?
But considering they are magical creatures, yeah, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But
so they defeat the Hunts clan with partying.
It's definitely a bizarre, but definitely creative way to defeat a bunch of hunters.
It's a footloose defeat to some degree. Peter Quill would give a thumbs up to.
Yeah, he definitely would.
So yeah, so we're defeating them with the sound system, with partying.
He defeated evil while dancing.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, we're tossing people, and then we're firing butterscotch on them.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably, like I said, I wouldn't be in the mood and I'd probably run away too if somebody was firing butterscotch on me. That's just sticky.
Well, yeah. So it's called butterscotch, Jacob.
Well, butterscotch is, I don't think butter has anything to do with it. Butter is usually just, slimy, not necessarily sticky.
Well, no, I don't know. Butter's kind of I don't know. It's butter. You can consider butter sticky.
It's more greasy and slimy than anything else.
What about peanut butter?
That's a different kind of butter.
It's still under the term butter, man.
I know. We're getting into semantics here, Dragon.
Okay, anyway.
You already spent enough time talking about apples. We don't need to talk about butter.
Well, it's just, Jacob, these matters are apples and oranges, my friend.
Of course, now you bring oranges into the mix.
Well, aren't you glad I didn't say banana?
Yes.
Okay. So, Huntsman, he retreats.
Have you ever had caramel-coated apples?
No.
What about butterscotch? What about butterscotch apples?
I've had butterscotch, but not butterscotch apples.
Ah, all right. The funny thing is, I like butterscotch, but not caramel.
Yeah. Now who's unfocused?
Like, hey, you started it.
I ended it.
Well,
And you picked it back up. You polished it off, and you took a big bite out of my apple point.
all right, I'm done with the Apple stuff. Move on. Let's
All
move
right.
on.
Steve Jobs is shedding a single tear in the hereafter. So,
I still have my Apple stuff.
yep. So, anyway, so the Huntsman pulls out this really cool bow and arrow weapon that he's got.
Does he use
The count.
Does he use that in other episodes? I don't.
Yeah, tons of times. Yeah.
I think he has other kinds of weapons. So he usually like uses his staff. I think.
Yeah, he's got. Well, we saw the staff in it. He's got the staff and he's got the arrow thing. So
And Huntsgirl was going to use the staff to slay Chang.
Admittedly, I think Huntsgirls also use like the bow and arrow. So yeah,
it might be just like standard like Huntsman gear.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's like Rose is usually armed with something similar, either the bow and arrow or the staff, or both as well. So
it is kind of interesting to see, like even though the Huntsmen the Hunts clan does get beat in this episode, like they're always despite the fact that they're almost always seen as like a credible threat to the family and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But we have like Jake literally defeats them with a party and like tripping them over wires and things like that.
Ultimately, the council's freed, and this is the only thing that the Hunts clan is going to take is a beating.
Yeah, and then they like start like shooting, like obviously they're different elements. Like I think like one has electricity, the other one has fire, stuff like that.
Yeah. So then there's a retreat going on there. They're all running away, and the ghosts. They have this runner with these ghosts who are thinking like everything's special effects. They're just like, man, we're loving these special effects, and the ghosts are like they're kind of chest bumping each other, and this poor little guy's like calling me, hey, and then they're bumping him at his level, which is kind of cute.
Oh yeah, it is nice.
Yeah. So Trixie's costume keeps getting popped.
Yep, Spud keeps trying to inflate it, but it doesn't always work.
Yeah, well, it's also like Fudo's ripping a hole in it. This is this running gag, like no one's like giving Trixie's costume any love.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was just I didn't know what it was when I first saw it, like a giant pea or something.
Yeah, well, again, it's like some sort of like some cover to a rap video. I think is like an album. Is the idea.
I mean, that makes sense.
All right, so let's see. So council members.
Like Chang, of course, just wants to still like rip into Jake and not give him his powers back. It's like, but this dragon, without him, you would have been slain.
Yeah, very, very good point. And again, we see Jake did have merit to what he was saying. There, a little partying did in fact, save their bacon. So they see that, and again, 2 out of 3 of these people really like him. They wanted to find opportunity to maybe we did kind of rush the judgment there. So they restore his powers, and we have this great. But you're not seriously considering it. Oh, I'm not considering it. We're doing it. Yeah. Good man. Good. I love these council guys. I've always loved these council guys, by the way. Obviously not Chang, but Chang for good reason.
Well, she makes her a good villain, though.
That's what I'm saying. She's a good villain, though. Yeah.
Like, and doesn't the line something like you took it away by partying because of partying, but partying saved y'all.
Okay. Admittedly, I think Jake's kind of spelling out the moral there, but it's good.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't dwell too long on it, which is nice.
All right, so then then we have the Norway dragon going like, so this is the occasion of the party, right? He just wants to party with Jake Long. He loves this kid. He's like, yeah, it's party.
I mean, I'd like to go to a party like that.
So then Food Dog's going, I don't know if I can keep this quiet from the old man. This is some significant stuff that happened here.
And then he sees a poodle.
Yep, possibly one of more, in which it would be Podai.
Oh yes.
I'm thinking like the Batoksai, in this case, the Podai.
And he says something like, hey, babe, want to go back to my place?
Like, he's romancing the poodle.
Oh, yes. They like romancing the poodle. Like I forget his exact line, but.
So I love the ending of this episode.
You mean where Lao Shi and Haley are counting candy?
I love this scene so much.
It's nice.
Yeah, they're counting candy because Haley's going to set the whole competition thing. Whoever gets the most pieces of candy wins the night, essentially. So he uses his tail to fake a knock at the door. She runs to go get it, and he lets her win. He tosses the few extra pieces of cake. He got he got a head start, so obviously he was going to win no matter what. So he tossed a few pieces of candy in her bucket, and she won. He let her have it. It's like, I did it. Indeed, you did. Like, Laoshi, you wonderful SOB.
He's a good grandfather.
Yes, he is, Jacob. Yes, he is. We toast the Laoshi.
He's an underrated Disney grandfather. Actually, Disney doesn't have a lot of grandfathers now that I think about it.
Not a lot, because usually we kill off the parents.
Yeah. So, and fortunately, we don't see dead parents in this show.
Yeah, they're alive and well.
Yep. And then again, that's more of a thing in the movies, not necessarily in the TV shows.
True, that is very true. Like, it's kind of hard to sell dead parents to kids.
I mean, the movies are made for kids too, but I guess they have.
Well, you know what I mean. I'm just saying, like on a regular basis, like movies, like a dramatic. Okay, there's kind of like usually the parents thing's like a backstory thing. Where okay, if we're gonna see the day to day life of these characters, well, I mean, what's the deal with the parents?
Yep. And I mean, like, obviously there are exceptions to both of those, of course.
Of course.
So yeah, so Dragon, what kind of candy are you looking forward to for Halloween this year?
The lime fruit chews.
Ooh,
You know, the Tootsie Roll brand little. If you bought, you know the fruit chews are right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lime ones.
It's like, have you heard of like Hijinks? They're like this Japanese or so candy. Like it's almost like a taffy. It's almost like a taffy kind of thing, but it's like a taffy cross with maybe like a Tootsie Roll almost. Like definitely.
I've had like lime taffy before, but
it's kind of hard to explain. But yeah, it's like I'm always like a sucker for like obviously like the Hershey's and like the Reese's cups, things like that. I used to love getting those as a kid.
Yeah, my go-to candy. It's the lime fruit chews are like that's the holy grail for me. Then you have the cookie and cream candy bar.
Ooh, you mean like the Hershey's one? Or
yes, the Hershey's cookie and cream candy bar. Yes,
ooh.
And then
man of good taste.
I like the red Starburst.
Like I said, man of good taste. I like the red and the orange ones.
And the orange is fine, but it's like if I have that, since they make them all in red now, it's like, man, that takes out all the guesswork. You just get all the red ones. Except, however, he's always that one you're saddled with. I'm always saddled with like I hate the raspberry. I don't eat the raspberry.
It's like, do they make lime Starburst?
Sadly, no.
I mean, you really like lime. I've come to realize that.
Yeah, I do. I do like lime, but I'm like not a key lime guy.
It's like pie, key lime.
I think I kind of wish I was, but I'm just not. I've tried. I just can't get into it.
Yeah, it's like that. I don't mind like fruity flavor. Like I just when it comes to like sweet stuff, like candy, I usually don't go for the fruity stuff. I'm like that's like Starburst or Fruit by the Foot or something.
I would love the lime Tootsie, the lime Tootsie Pop, but it's kind of like saying you have to get online because you can't. It's like somewhat discontinued. It's a whole thing.
All right. That's
anyway.
But you have and of course you always go to the houses that have the whole candy bars.
I don't think I've ever ran into those. People always get the mini ones around my parts.
I mean, I did too. They were a rarity, but when you did,
I would lose my mind if like someone had like a full size, cookie and cream candy bar. Like, oh my goodness, look at this!
It's like when the best time to get Halloween candy is, right, Dragon?
When, Jacob?
November.
True.
That's what the best time you could just go to the store and buy it for like 50% off.
Yeah, but where's the fun? Where's the fun in that? You gotta earn it, Jacob. You gotta walk. You gotta get that candy.
I'm an adult, Dragon. I live in a closed apartment. I don't have trick or treaters in my own building, nor do I have anywhere to go trick or treating. It's like so that's kind of the only option I have. But yeah. Laoshi giving Haley the windows. Actually, that was actually really nice of him.
Yeah, very nice.
It's a good thing she didn't go with Food Dog, because Food Dog would be just hogging it all for himself.
Well, if he's smart, he's going to give her all the chocolate.
Yeah, he's a magical Sharpay. He might be able to survive.
Yeah, probably.
Unless there's like an episode, like a line in an episode that suggests he can't survive, then I'm wrong.
No idea.
But who knows? He's magical. He's lived for 600 years, so. And then I'm sure he's done a lot worse than eat chocolate.
Anywho, let's thank the folks and get out of here.
Let's thank you, Warp Monarch and Richard's victims, for commenting on us tonight. And thanks to all you who will be watching this Watch this on VOD. So, any last words, Dragon? Or closing words? I keep saying any last words. But...
Yeah, you make me walk the plank, eh?
Like, I mean, I guess it's kind of appropriate considering it's horror and all that, but...
That's true. Yeah, so again, I gotta be honest, watching this does make me kind of want to go back to American Dragon Jake Long, which I have been contemplating. I just gotta find the time while I'm kind of binging through some other stuff right now. But it's a treat, it's a delight, and it's synonymous that Dante Vasquez is involved in two great animated shows. One far more long-standing, the other one just more Jake Long.
It's like, and certain aspects of the show hold up surprisingly well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying everything does, because obviously a lot of this stuff is a product of the mid 2000s.
What are you talking about, yo?
But it's just kind of interesting that that there are other shows from the mid 2000s that Disney did that were on Disney that aged better and are a lot more timeless than certain aspects of this show is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go into details here, but still, like, it was nice to revisit this show again. Like, I'm glad the show finally made it on Disney Plus. It was like one of the shows missing from that time, and there's still quite a few shows from the 2000s missing on Disney Plus. So, like, there's a couple notable we could mention here, but we'd be here all day talking about it. So, but it was nice to revisit this. But all right, folks, that's the end of tonight's spooky selection. And our spirits grow weary, but they'll be even stronger than ever next time as we engage in even more haunted holiday hijinks. It's wacky, yo.